It is a cloudy, overcast day at the Phoenix Raceway as we are on site for the Instacart 250 for the NASCAR Cup Series. It is the fifth race of the season. And there you see it should be a good one. Defending winner Joey Logano trying to go for his second win of this season alone in the fight for that trophy right there today. This is the second 50% race of four on the season as well. So this is going to be a short one, but it should be a good one. And again, as usual with the intros to this video, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we are about to get into another live commentary, realistic commentary for a NASCAR video game race for this career mode premiere of the NASCAR 21 Ignition. I'm Keegan Schneider here. Proud for you guys to be on board for this one. Yes, this is another premiere on the channel. Again, for those of you not familiar with the career mode episodes on the channel for NASCAR 21 Ignition, most of them will be premiered. This is another one of which that will be premiered. But this should be a good one. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for this race today. We'll be starting at the back, simulating qualifying for this race. Ryan Blaney will be on the pole with Corey LaJoie starting second outside of the front row. Josh Bilicki and Tyler Reddick will be in row number 2. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin making an All Joe Gibbs Racing row number 3. Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano in row 4. Harvick, the all-time winner at Phoenix with 9 career wins at the racetrack. Joey Gase and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will round out the top 10 in row number 5. Now that that is all set and ready to go, we're about to get into this race here today. So everybody is set and ready to go. Only 156 laps and 156 miles will be on tap for this race. A couple of faster cars at the rear of the field, not only with the 48 of Schneider coming in off his first career win in the last race at Las Vegas, but you got William Byron, Kurt Busch as well starting towards the back. The green flag is in the air. Ryan Blaney leads the field to the green in the Instacart 250. 250 kilometers set for this race today. Got to be very patient in getting back to the gas, trying not to slide the car too much. At the time of me recording this, we are kind of familiar on the channel with the cars maybe checking up, or sorry, not checking up, but pitting about halfway through a fuel or tire run, tire stint. Though on the 750 ovals and really not just the 750 ovals, but the 750 tracks, the road courses and the ovals, we tend to see pit stops on a regular basis, so we will be pitting the same time as the AI. It's going to be very interesting, though, if this is going to be a 1 or a 2 pit stop race today. That is really just going to have to be dependent on pitting whenever everybody else does for the sake of Schneider. Makes the pass on the 78. BJ McLeod, his first pass of the race today. A lot of bottom open there. Do have minimal stability and minimal throttle sensitivity on for the 750 tracks as always, whether it's road course or oval. 3 wide down into turn 3. A little bit of contact between Chris Buescher and the 48 of Keegan Schneider. But the rookie getting a win and just his 4th career start in the last race at Las Vegas. That does not translate well over to Phoenix in this West Coast string, this being a flatter 1 mile short track, completely different package as well versus the 550 horsepower package on that 1.5 miles. Now there's some contact with the left rear of Kurt Busch, who's made his way through parts of the field. Schneider gets into his left rear, cuts it down to the apron again. Now that's going to wear the tires out more and more, transitioning from the actual racing groove down to the more so widened out passing lane that we usually see on restarts here at Phoenix over the recent years since its recent configurations in the late to mid 2010s. More contact in the middle of 3 and 4. That time it was Bubba Wallace and William Byron. Everybody keeping control of their cars early on for the most part. Schneider down to the apron again to take it 3 wide, making the passes on Byron and Wallace. Sends it into 1 and 2 and outbreaks the 10 of Almirola and the 53 of Joey Gase. And already Schneider's up to 22nd. Maybe feeling more comfortable after getting that first career win out of the way in the last race at Las Vegas. And now he is going for broke today at Phoenix. And he has been aggressive in going down to that apron 3 times now in the opening 8 laps of the race, all in the last 3 laps. But it has shot him up to the 20th position, already passing half the cars in the field today. This is the site of the championship race, so when we come here the second time this year for the championship, it will be the full 312 laps. A cooler 65-degree day on top of the overcast skies, so despite this being a 750 horsepower package, there is about as much grip as you can get for one of these types of races on the NASCAR calendar as possible. I'm sure they will still be lacking grip on the longer run. Bowman to the inside of DiBenedetto for position. Not going to be able to get around him there. He's going to take the normal line now into the dog leg, shooting underneath DiBenedetto, checking up before running into the back of the 15 of James Davidson. He'll make the pass on him into turn 1. It does seem like the AI checks up in the dog leg. I did notice that in practice. Not as bad early in the run, but as the run gets later and later and later, they only check up more and more and more for whatever reason. It's like the AI thinks it's like a normal turn, that you can't like actually stand on the gas. Obviously, you can go full throttle all the way through it. Without any stability help, the car gets really, really loose there as well. So it's almost like the game in general just wants you to check up just like the AI. But with the minimal stability help on for the 750 tracks, that is the case where we don't have to check up. Schneider still underneath Brad Keselowski in the 2. Can't quite make the pass on him yet. Now into the dog leg under the 53 of Gase. Keselowski rolled through there a little bit quicker than Gase. One thing I did notice in practice on the longer run as well is that you're really, really able to run the outside in turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2, it's a little bit harder because of how much flatter it is, but 3 and 4, you can kind of get it to work. So I'm sure you'll be seeing the 48 of Schneider work his way there as the run carries on. Right now, he's all the way on the bottom in 3 and 4, so he can use that apron to pass the huge bunches of race cars we've seen early on. He's going to crack the top 15 into turns 1 and 2 this time. His teammate Chase Elliott following in line behind him. Almost got it in the back of him in turns 1 and 2 there. That awkward angle for Schneider meant that he had to check up a little bit earlier. But this is an absolute rocket ship of a race car for the 48 early on. And he may be the first driver to win 2 races this season in just the 5th race of the year. Would you imagine the rookie being able to do that? Of course, his only win came in a 50% race at Las Vegas. I know that is not a big similarity compared to Phoenix as far as the track, the package that is used, but as far as the race length, with it being 50%, that was our first 50% race of the year. This is our second, as seems to be playing into effect here for Schneider. Oh boy, almost gotten into the wall off turn 4. He got back in the gas a little too soon. Elliott with a little bit of a run off of turn 4, trying to gain on the 48 car in front of him. It's actually showing Schneider in 11th. I was thinking we were in 15th. The leaderboard was a little laggy and delayed there in the process of us getting to the position. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson in the top 10. Daniel Suarez early on in the top 10. But again, this is going to be either a 1 or 2 stop race today. But unlike Vegas, everybody will be on the same strategy. You cannot afford to make a mistake in this race and fall off the pace and expect to get that time back. Schneider's still closing quite a bit right now on Suarez and Kyle Busch into turns 1 and 2. He's got to run after that checkup in the dog leg. He's going to send it into turns 1 and 2. Sliding up the racetrack right now. Passes both Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez. And Kyle Busch got stuck on the outside with the 48 underneath him. Suarez kind of backed the corner up enough to drop in line behind Schneider. As he tries to get around Kyle Busch as well, they're still side by side for position back there. A lot of open traffic down in front of the 48 to try and catch his next Hendrick teammate of Kyle Larson. Larson, the highest running Hendrick Chevy on the racetrack right now in 8th place. Though there are Chevys, at least one Chevy ahead of him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 6th. The RCR cars seem to be really fast in this game. One thing, as of me recording this in the custom schedule season, Reddick has a win as well as Austin Dillon has 2 wins in the custom schedule season. I know I'm very early in the recordings for the career mode compared to that. So we've been live streaming a lot recently. More time on my hands with the NASCAR off season, just the winter months in general upon us. Slower in my workspace and all that, but a little bit of a flat line that time into 3 and 4, and then Schneider got back in the gas a little too soon on top of it. Chase Elliott also made his way in the top 10, getting around both Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez. So Elliott and Schneider seem to have pretty equal speed in their race cars. Seemingly both of them look a little bit faster than even Kyle Larson in the 5 as they're both kind of closing in. A little bit of a diving into the corner off that time in 1 and 2 for Schneider. He entered in the middle. He was able to get that really good exit, angling it down towards the bottom of the racetrack. And he's going to be aggressive this time off turn 4. He's going to go down to the apron. Very close to that inside retaining wall, that pit wall. Now he's underneath Kyle Larson, that awkward angle, just like when he made the pass on Suarez. And Busch is going to have him slide up the track. Larson maybe going to try to beat him back to the gas. Schneider probably could have stood back in the throttle a little sooner, but he was patient, didn't want to spin the car out and be extra aggressive after making the clearance on Larson. And just like that, Schneider is up to 8th place. Already at lap 22 this time by, and he's going to go down to the apron again into the dogleg. Lap traffic now just inside the top 10. David Reagan really held up Martin Truex Jr. That costed Truex a possible position. 3 wide into the corner. Schneider hits that inside wall. And that sharp, awkward entry that was already 3 wide there, and that costed him a chance to be able to clear Truex. Now he'll look to the outside into turns 1 and 2. He hasn't tried to pass on the outside today. In either corner, lap cars on the top is going to make it harder for him to beat Truex back to the gas. He's going to try. Truex just completely gets into him, and Schneider to check up just to keep it off the wall. Truex caught behind another lap car. Actually, it was Byron caught behind the lap car of Timmy Hill. Schneider to the outside. Going to try to split both Hill and Truex. Checks up in the dogleg to keep it off the wall. Crazy battle right now between Truex, Byron, Stenhouse, really everybody, all 4 of these guys for 5th place. That's actually Reddick, not Byron, in the 6th position. Schneider clears Truex off the high side in 1 and 2. Again, the high side tends to work a little bit better in 3 and 4, not so much in 1 and 2. He actually did make it work in 1 and 2. It looks like he's going to make it work again on the outside in 3 and 4. Dealing with the lap traffic, still 3 wide. Cody Ware pulls up right in front of Schneider. Schneider now into the middle, feeling gutsy. Oh, gets pinched off. Got pinched off and still made minimal contact with Cody Ware. That could have been a lot worse. Still hangs on to 6th place. Lost a little bit of ground, though, behind the 47 of Stenhouse. And Stenhouse is running down Harvick. Obviously made a pass on Reddick a couple laps ago. Schneider followed him through it. Schneider with a better run off 4 to the inside of Stenhouse without having to go to the apron that time. So it's not going to have that awkward of an entry into 1 and 2. And now it'll be Schneider closing in on Kevin Harvick off turn 2. Lap car on the high side in the way. Schneider pulls extremely low, braking extremely early on top of it. And Haley kind of chopped him off in the center of the corner there. Schneider again down to the apron to pull away from Haley and trying to get a bit of a run on Harvick. It'll help pull away from the 47 of Stenhouse. Schneider gets into the left rear of Harvick. Doesn't take much contact to turn a car around in this one. That's why Schneider checks up so much after making contact anytime, especially in the 750 tracks, even with limited stability help. See the pole sitter Blaney back to 3rd. So he's about 5 seconds even ahead of where Harvick and Schneider are at. Harvick checked up in the dog leg. Schneider didn't. Got into the right rear that time, so he's gotten into the right rear after he got into the left rear the lap before. Lap car on the inside of Austin Cindric. Schneider will use the lap car as a pick to clear Harvick off turn 2 for 4th. That lap traffic definitely seems to be slowing down Ryan Blaney. You can see a bunch of cars up here, so not just Blaney, but I'm sure the 2 positions ahead of him up for grabs as well. Been slowed up quite considerably. And that checkup in the dog leg really helping Schneider's lap time comparison to everybody else, and that's why he has already gone from last place starting position to 4th in the first 30 laps. This first fuel run. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see exactly how the pit stops are going to work themselves out as well. Did not practice a pit stop in this game, so not even sure what the pit road speed limit is. We're probably going to be taking it very slow just to make sure that we don't get penalized. Look at Blaney going 3 wide. In between the lap cars of Ross Chastain and Michael McDowell. He may have made minimal contact with the 42, but boy, he made it work. Schneider's got a bit of a run down the backstretch now. He's going to be 3 wide into turn 3 and had to let the 42 go. Didn't want to get into him, kind of like what he had to do with Truex earlier. Now we'll cut it down to the apron under the dog leg to make the pass on both the 34 and the 42 on the front stretch. Closes quite considerably on Blaney. Logano is in 2nd after starting in 8th. We know he's got a pretty good race car. Good acceleration for Blaney off turn 2. Beats the 48 of Schneider down to the bottom. Schneider pushes a little bit tight. Again, he's going to cut down to the apron, trying to make a pass on the 12 of Blaney. Really big cut to the inside. And he should take away the spot. So Schneider now up to 3rd. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano running 1-2 and nose to tail at that in the midst of lap traffic, but the 48 and the 12 are running them both down. Especially the 48 of Schneider, who's trying to go for back-to-back wins. And again, he cuts it down to the apron of the racetrack, being very aggressive on this opening set of tires. Logano picked behind the lap car of Corey LaJoie. Hamlin pulls away, but now Hamlin gets stuck behind the next lap car in front of them of Eric Jones in the 43. And here comes Schneider to the inside of Logano down the backstretch. And now he'll jump to the inside of Denny Hamlin using Jones as a pick. Schneider to the lead at lap 34, 35 at the line. Schneider is all clear of both Hamlin, Logano, and the lap car of Eric Jones. Schneider leads his first lap of the race today at lap 35. Thrilling start to the race. Schneider trying to go for back-to-back wins. And back-to-back 50% races for the only time on the schedule as well. And it is really working out for him. And now does he have the speed differential on the positive side to be able to pull away from the 11 and the 22. Still using a lot of that apron. The 22 clear in the middle of 1 and 2. And Schneider has now lapped the field here at Phoenix. And we're only on lap 69. In the opening fuel run, he has not only lapped the field, but started in last place on top of it. And if he's only got to make 1 pit stop today, that means he only... Well, okay, so there it is. Lap 70, crew chief right at the start-finish line says to be ready to pit in a couple laps. So that is going to be interesting. Going to have to watch some other drivers who maybe are going to pit sometime soon as well. Schneider could be burning more fuel as well compared to everybody else. Maybe they're backing it up to save. If they make it on 1 stop and Schneider has to pit twice, he's got a 1-lap lead on Logano, but you may lose 2 laps here at Phoenix in general. And I think Schneider's got to pit very, very soon. I don't think he can take it to lap 78 and risk running out of fuel, ending his chances to win the race. He's got 3 wide action right in front of him. Schneider will stay out one more lap to lap 72, but he will pit the next time by. Maybe just kind of hoping for a caution at this point. I don't think anybody else has started to pit yet, and that is concerning for the 48 of Schneider. That he is going to have to pit early. Down to the apron into the dog leg again. Lap 72, but Schneider will pit this time. So he'll stay on the inside of the track, out of the way. Not sure what the pit road speed limit is, so he's going to have to check up before he gets to the commitment line just to make sure he doesn't speed. And drop it all the way down to 35 just to make sure. So taking it very slow into the pits. First stop of the day at lap 72 for Schneider. Very unfortunate he couldn't quite make it to halfway. We'll see if everybody else can make it to the halfway mark. And if they can, then I believe that Schneider is going to really have to hustle in the second half of this race if he's going to want to win. He's obviously got the fastest car, but he is going to have to pit twice at some point. Everybody else can make it on one stop. It's like minimal damage repairs will be made as well. I meant to turn that off. That's going to cost Schneider a little bit of time as well. I'm going to make sure I turn that off right as soon as I exit the pits for next time. This is really costly because there is no damage on the race car. He's barely made contact with anybody and hasn't even hit the wall yet today either. There he is, losing positions. He is on the lead lap for now. He's still got to go all the way back around again. He's got that first pit stall on entry. Very long way to the pit road exit. Now he will have much fresher tires than everybody else, so he'll continue to start and make this ground up again until everybody else pits, but it's when he has to make that next pit stop, which is going to be the big difference maker. And Logano has actually lapped the 48 of Schneider. Schneider on the, oh man, all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. So Schneider going to go to work on fresh tires. Everybody backing it up enough, and maybe that's the idea. Run slower to try to make it on one less stop. Schneider now goes from a one-lap lead to one lap down after the pit stop. 4 wide in turns 1 and 2 with the race leader Logano in the middle of it. But Schneider was able to take that advantage on fresh tires, so he's back on the lead lap in case we get a caution in 19. Well, we've seen 3 wide a couple times today, and that time we saw 4 wide. Somehow they all got through with no contact. On a short track in this game of all things, I didn't expect to see coming today. I mean, you can maybe expect it on the restarts, but this is no restart. Schneider is just gripping it and ripping it right now. Really trying to gain as much time as possible before the rest of the cars pit. Because once they pit, then they're going to have fresher tires than Schneider. Though Schneider has about 72 lap fresher tires than them. Currently, obviously a very huge difference maker. You know what, now that I think about it, I think we're 2 laps down. Somehow. Because we just passed Logano once, but I don't think we're back in the lead lap because we also just passed the 9th and 10th place cars and we didn't get any spots out of it. Obviously, we're still in 18th. We did just pass Busher for position. That is insane that we lost 3 laps in the pit lane because of how slow the pit crew is. That is mind-boggling. Schneider checking up extra 1 and 2. 3 wide off the exit, though, because of it. Fresh tires will allow him to prevail, though, down the backstretch. Really just trying to be as cautious as he possibly can. Ooh, man, just got to the outside of Ty Dillon in the 96. And now Schneider back inside the top 15, so I guess he's not in the lead lap if we were to get a yellow. Well, it's lap 78 this time, so everybody can make it on one stop except for the 48 of Schneider, who is already pit. In real life, he can go about 85 to 95 laps, so Schneider Not even making it to the halfway mark of this 50% race. That is definitely troubling. He didn't want to risk it either. Wasn't worth it. Now we're taking yourself out of a chance to win in the first half of a race in which it looks like you're going to have a sure shot at winning the race. Maybe not an absolute sure shot like he's the complete favorite with it being so early in the going and really early of any race considering the amount of laps we ran and it being a short track. But he is passing a lot of cars on this racetrack. He cuts all the way to the apron in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 rather, and again he is just really trying to pick up as much time as he possibly can. I mean, once we get to 70 laps to go, we know Schneider can make it on field to the end of the race, no problem. So if the leaders can take it that far, I think Schneider should pit when they do. And just try to make the time back up on the racetrack in general again. Hamlin pulling down, making a pass on a lap car, making it 3 wide for Schneider. Getting into turns 1 and 2, but he keeps it off the 11, actually clears him. Hamlin in second place still. Schneider back to 11. He's about to get his lap back here very shortly. Make sure I turn no damage repair on. Now we're just a few seconds ahead of the 48. So ideally, Schneider wanted to get back on the lead lap. Here comes Logano into the pits at lap 83. So Logano pits before Schneider was able to get his lap back. He was about 3 seconds behind him still. And Schneider now back on the lead lap. Again, we'll have to wait and see if we get a caution at all in the middle of green flag pit stops. At least Schneider is finally back on the lead lap and inside the top 10 if it did happen. But big check up, Tyler Reddick coming into the pits. That slowed Larson down. Schneider on freshened tires, blows right around them all. Schneider up to second. Only one more car in front of him still has to pit. But now he's going to have a little bit older tires. So with having to pit this next time, it's going to be very interesting. Still no caution. Schneider has just taken the lead. I don't know who was in the lead there for about a lap leading up to those pit stops. Schneider down on the apron of the racetrack right now. Oh man, Ryan Blaney coming out of the pits. He splits right between him and Corey LaJoie, who's already on the racetrack. It's probably a dangerous time to go down onto the apron. Blaney got a little loose, might have got ran into the back of by Corey LaJoie or David Reagan, some of those lap cars that were around him as he was trying to merge. Blaney was in 4th place. Still got a pretty big mix of cars that are not on the track yet. Oh boy, Christopher Bell, 3 wide in turns 1 and 2, just squeezed. And sandwiched a car between him and Timmy Hill. I don't know who it was. It looks like it might have been the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Schneider barely keeps it off Timmy Hill, passes him cleanly in 3 and 4. Ross Chastain pitting. Checking a couple cars up behind him. Schneider passes Cody Ware pretty quickly, hops to the inside of Kevin Harvick into turns 3 and 4. Harvick going to accelerate on by. Schneider again down to the apron, trying to make a pass on the 4 of Harvick, and does. Clears him into turn 1. Harvick trying to challenge back on the outside with a little bit fresher tires. And he's able to pull clear off turn 2 on Schneider. Schneider pushing hard, but he can't keep up with these older tires. Even though they're only about 10 to 11 laps old. Obviously making a pretty big difference right now. Schneider again down to the apron. Couple cars coming out of the pits. Michael McDowell, one of them. Or LaJoy on the inside trying to get up to speed. He slows up in the middle of 1 and 2. Schneider passes him. That's going to hold up Harvick back there behind a bunch of cars. So only 3 cars on the lead lap. Hamlin third. Logano cycled back to second place again, just as he was coming into the pits. But now Schneider doesn't have that 1 lap lead on the field again. We're at lap 91 in this race. Onto the back markers, and still some of the lap cars making their way into the pits for the first and only time. So it's a 2-stop strategy versus 1, but not for the AI versus Schneider in the way you would think that Schneider's the one that has to make 2 stops, and the rest of the field has to make it on 1. So rules a little bit reversed. David Reagan slowing up Christopher Bell. There's a lot of lap cars that are still out there. How slow they're running in. They're many laps down as they are. Oh, and now we got a caution. Caution is out. And that means that Schneider will pit. So it'll be our first caution of the race today. So now Schneider should be able to make it on fuel to the end. And he'll have a little bit fresher tires than everybody who has pitted already. Now we just got to hope for no game glitch on the restart. So our first caution of the race today. Just after halfway, and I think everybody's coming into the pits anyway, whether they pitted or not. So it's an even playing field now between Schneider and the rest of the cars on the lead lap. We had 3 cars on the lead lap as it was. Schneider will restart from the lead this time. Not in control of my own car yet. Not until we hit that start-finish line, and now we hit it. Green flag back in the air at Phoenix. Everybody's going to make it wide going down into 1 and 2. Schneider got a really good launch. Probably checked up in the dog leg again, even when they were just getting up to speed. So we got a lot of drivers who pit there. Schneider wins the race out of the pits. There were 3 cars on the lead lap when the caution waved. That was Schneider, Logano, Hamlin. And then the free pass should have went to the 4th place car. For some reason, it is calling us into the pits, even though we just pitted. That's a little bit scary, to be completely honest. But I think we got to stay out. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. We're at lap 100 right now. Only 57 laps to go for Schneider. And Denny Hamlin, 2 seconds off the lead back there. He's trying to close in. What adjustments has he made? So pitting under the caution again. Schneider should be able to make it on fuel to the end now. We've had glitches with the crew chief trying to call us into the pits before. And with having this, not only just 1 stop, but an extra stop for Denny Hamlin's sake, as he made enough of adjustments to be able to try and run down the 48 of Schneider. Hamlin got stuck behind one of the cars who came out of the pit lane. That would have been Cody Ware in the 51. But we could have a very interesting race to the finish. We haven't had that like nail-biter of a finish ever at the time of me recording this on this game. Could Phoenix in the career mode be one of those days here today? And actually, that's Cody Ware who just came out of the pit. Schneider will pass in the front stretch. Hamlin, Logano, Schneider, all 3 of those drivers have won this season. In the race to try and be the first driver to win 2 races this season now in what is the 5th race of the year. The only driver not up here that has won a race, if I remember correctly, is Christopher Bell, who won the Daytona 500. Schneider's definitely not pulling away for Truex, and if Hamlin has made the same adjustments that his teammate Truex has made here, I think Hamlin may have a fast enough car to try and run Schneider down for the win. Schneider's going to have to do as good as he possibly can here to try and hold on. We'll have to see how lap traffic will play a factor as well. Martin Truex Jr. can maybe get back on the lead lap and catch another caution. He obviously looks really, really fast. He won this race in real life in 2021, trying to win it in the video game. That came out in that same year, this same year, again at the time of me recording. Even on the dogleg, he's actually keeping really good pace. Loses a little bit of ground into turns 1 and 2, but he kind of gains it back off the exit, leading the 48 back to the throttle. No adjustments made under either of the two stops today for Schneider. He's going to go down to the dogleg, taking a shortcut. Trying to get away from Truex as much as he possibly can, changing his line. Now, ideally, because of that caution, Truex should have gotten the free pass. For whatever reason, I don't think they give the Lucky Dog Award or the Free Pass Award in this game. Because I think I had that one race on the custom schedule season where I was the first car lap down. I knew I was the first car lap down. Caution came out. I didn't get my lap back. So, even though Truex should have been back in the lead lap, which is actually really disservice to him considering how fast of a car he's got. I mean, he's keeping up right now with the race leader and the guy who had the fastest car of the race through the entire first half of the race. And this is a short race. To put it in better perspective, the Truck Series race at Phoenix is only 150 laps. This is only 6 laps longer than that. The Xfinity race, 200. So this is shorter than an Xfinity Series length race here at Phoenix. Look at the mountain of lap cars. And the army of lap cars that is up in front of the 48 still to come here. Hamlin is closing. I mean, he was 4.5 back. I mean, he's about 3.5 back now. Hamlin may be the fastest car of the racetrack. And we'll see if the lap traffic's going to help or hurt the rookie Schneider. Definitely got back in the gas a little too soon off turn 4 that last time by. Made sure he didn't do that this time. He's going to go to the outside into the dog leg. Justin Haley, David Reagan. Going to get the car to roll back down to the bottom. All these lap cars really slow. 3 wide, way up ahead here. To watch that 19 car at Truex. See how he gets through it as well. Still 3 wide, just up ahead. One of the cars hits the inside wall, getting into turns 3 and 4. Schneider to the outside of Cole Custer. They'll stay wide for right now. Still 3 wide. Checks up. Got caught behind Timmy Hill. Outside might be the safest place to be on the front stretch, though. If you can't get all the way down to the apron. There's still 3 wide. 2 by 2. Schneider almost turned himself off the front bumper of James Davidson. He had to check up big time down the back straightaway when he pulled low. So that way he wasn't going to be on the inside, or I should say stuck, right behind the 78 of B.J. McLeod. Kurt Busch, Matt DiBenedetto right in front of the 48. Schneider blows by DiBenedetto and Kurt Busch, zigzagging from inside to outside. What a day. Schneider diamonds the corner off now to roll to the inside of Newman and clear him down the back straightaway. Down to single digits now, 9 laps to go at Phoenix for Schneider as he lifts a little bit off 4 again, trying to keep the car off the walls. It is extremely tight late in the run. Three wide off the exit of turn 4. 2 lap cars, much slower from 28th on back. Cindric and Justin Haley. A couple of rookies. Oh, man, Austin Dillon went down into the side of the 48. Schneider did kind of walk up the track a little bit. Middle of the back stretch. Oh, man, barely cleared Austin Dillon off the exit of turn 4. He was committed. Got it done. 7 laps to go now. Should only have to catch a few more lap cars the rest of the race. See Cooper 4, then only 1 car ahead of them. That might be it. There's another car or 2 spaced out a little bit further up ahead as well, depending on who they are. Schneider may catch him. 6 to go. I think you're late enough in the race now with 6 to go, considering the caution would wane a few other laps away. I think you got to stay out on the restart. You got to stay out. And just kind of hope for the best. Schneider would make this car wide if it came down to that to win, because he definitely deserves to win today. Even more so than Vegas. Vegas, he played the strategy right today. He got the caution when he needed, but he has led the most laps on top of it. And at least in the first half of the race before he made his first stop, he had the fastest car. I wouldn't say so much in the second half, but he gave himself that big enough of a lead and that buffer on the restart to restart from the lead in his pit crew, winning the race off of pit road after the one and only caution today. So the pit crew even getting a little bit of a shout out in the victory for the 48 of Schneider today. They definitely contributed, even with only having to make 2 stops with it being a 50% race. And 3.5 more circuits around the Phoenix Raceway for Schneider. He clears Stenhouse off turn 2. And what a rookie season in the first 5 career races for Schneider it will be. Because even if he doesn't win, if we get a caution, there's only one other driver who would have a chance now with having a 1-lap lead, and that would be Denny Hamlin. Another reason why you probably don't want to pit is giving everybody the wave around, but he's only a lap away from not even having to worry about it anymore after worrying about it for nearly 60 to 70 laps. 3 wide off the exit of 4. Guns past him on the front stretch chicane. 2 to go. Front stretch chicane. The dog leg. It's not a chicane. No chicanes at Phoenix. Not NASCAR. They do have a road course here. I think that's what the rally cross or the supercross races. Not supercross. The rally cross or rally cars. Whatever. Drift cars. Anyway, white flag in the air. 1 lap to go at Phoenix for Keegan Schneider. About to get career win number 2. And we'll have to see how much he'll climb in the early regular season standings to this season. Second career top 5 will be a second career win. A second career top 10 will be a second career win. Passes Bubba Wallace into turn 3. That's the last lap car he catches today. Checkered flag in the air. Schneider wins at Phoenix. Career win number 2. Another 50% races. We'll take a look at the official results to today's race. We did not have a 3-lap lead on the field. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, Schneider with the win. Joey Logano finishes second. Denny Hamlin, P3, a 1-lap victory for Schneider, but Logano was able to get back around Hamlin there towards the end. Chase Elliott finishes in 4th. Martin Truex Jr. 5th. William Byron 6th. Kyle Larson 7th, Ryan Blaney 8th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 9th, Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 10. Most of those guys just stayed in the top 10 all race long. Of course, with it only being a 50% race, it was kind of hard. It's harder to have comers and goers through the field for sure, but again, that is a look at the top 10. See if anybody DNF'd. Nobody DNF'd. We did have a caution for whatever reason, but we made it out alive, so now we get to take a look at Schneider in victory lane for the second time with Ally back-to-back in his rookie season. He's the first driver to win 2 races this season, again in his rookie year. Boy, we had, how many career runs did we have in the Cup Series in NASCAR Heat 5? I think we had 19. I think we had 19 or 20. We might have had just more than 20. I'd have to go back and look. But even if we had just more than 20, we'll have a couple, at least 2 extra seasons in this career mode. It's a harder game though too, so we'll see. We'll see if we can do it. But already 2 in the first 5 career races. That is a good start. Another good sign. Again, another 50% race coming up next. Could make it 3 out of 6 in his career. He won on the last mile and a half as well. That was a 50% race at Las Vegas. As we take a look at the point standings again, there are your 4 drivers with wins this year. And actually, Hamlin doesn't have a win. I got my custom schedule as of me recording this. He has 3 wins, but none on this season. So he was actually looking for his first today. But Joey Logano with 1 win. Christopher Bell with 1 win in the Daytona 500. William Byron has a win. I think that was at Homestead, so that was realistic in that aspect. And now 3 wins for Hendrick Motorsports. Schneider with 2. There you see it. Kyle Larson's got 5 top 10. He's finishing top 10 every race this season. 3 top 5s. Larson actually leads the regular season standings right now over Denny Hamlin in second. Schneider at 115. I believe we're in the top 16 now. But, we're tied. And we're actually ahead of Byron. So we're tied for what would be 11th in the regular season standings. So tied for 11th in the regular season standings. Schneider's led 157 laps this year. 3 of those laps did not actually get accounted for at Vegas as well. Or sorry, not Vegas, but at what track was it? Homestead, that we had to simulate as well. We led 3 laps in the middle of green flag stop. So we actually have 160 laps led on the season so far. Again, 10 playoff points. Pretty good stuff, man. 160 laps led in a rookie year. That's just amazing right now. I want to see where we're at in the legacy standings as well. We got 41 legacy points, whatever that means again. But I don't know where we were coming in, but I know we gained some spots because now we're up to 40th because we were outside the top 40. So now we're up to 40th with our second career win. Awesome stuff there. Let's see. I want to see if we can have a chance to get to the top. I don't know if these guys are actually earning more legacy points as the career mode moves on or not. I have no clue. Obviously, drivers will retire too. Maybe they'll disappear. Maybe they'll stay on there. I have no clue. We'll have to see after the end of Season 1 when all that stuff happens. But, that's going to wrap it up. Again, Atlanta, Folds of Honor Quick Trip 250 will be the next race of the season. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.